All right, this is the video 2A.3 percent equations, applications using equations or proportions. Essentially, this is just different ways to say the percent equation. The amount is the percent as a decimal times the base. The new is the percent as a decimal times the old, or the part is the percent as a decimal times the whole. When we use a percent equation, the big deal here is you have to put percentages in a decimal form. And if you are finding a percent, you must change your answer from decimal form to a percentage. So that's the extra step that's involved. A lot of times people do like percent equations though, because you just set the equation up and it's like one step to solve. But it's those remembering to change your percents to decimals and decimals back to percentages if you're looking for the percent. Those are the trickier parts. So just before we do that, let's just remind ourselves how to convert. So if you're going from percent to decimal, you move two places to the left. So this would be 0.203. Two places to the left would be 0.0378. Two places to the left on 300 would just be 3. And two places to the left on this one would be 0.0022. So those are now in decimal form. If I'm in decimal form and I want to go back to percentage, I have to move two places to the right. So this would be 97%, 367%. This one would just be 0.347%. So notice it's still a decimal. And this one would be 8%. Okay. So when we look at how to work with these problems, we're going to be translating them into an equation that we can then set up as a solving part. The word is, so we're going to have our part is blank percentage of the whole, where the percent is going to be a decimal, and the is equals, and the of is times. So that's kind of our formula that we use. For example, what number is 45% of 90? So what number, we don't know, is equals 45% as a decimal is 0.45 times for of 90. We'll multiply that together and I get that that is 40.5. One serving of a crispy cereal has 8 grams of fiber, which is 25% of your recommended daily amount. What is the total recommended daily amount? So remember, 8 grams is the part. We want our percentage as, so right now it's 25%, but we will put it in decimal form when we use it. And then we don't know the of, we don't know the total daily recommended amount. So this would be 8 equals 0.25 times n. We will divide by 0.25 on both sides. So 8 divided by 0.25 is 32. So n would be 32 grams of fiber. Okay. Tamar went to a new restaurant. The bill was $50. Tamar wants to leave 18% of the total bill as a tip. What should the tip be? So the tip is the part, right? So we're looking at, we don't know how much tip he's going to leave, but we want it to be 18% or 0.18 of the $50 bill. So this would be n equals 0.18 times 50. So 0.18 times 50 is a $9 tip. Okay. And let's look at example 4. Nathan bought a pair of sunglasses on sale for $270. The sales price was 80% of the original. So 80% of the original. That means the original is the whole. So 270 is 80% of what original price? So we're going to be dividing both sides by the 0.80. So 270 divided by 0.8, and that is $337.50. We should expect it to cost more because this was, you know, the sales price was $270. Let's translate and solve number 5. 445% of what number is 53,400? So our is 53,400 4.45 would be the percent as a decimal here, because we have to move it 2 places to the left. So 4.45 times what number? Because we don't know the whole. So divide both sides by 4.45. And this is over 100%, so we should expect a smaller amount for the whole whenever you have more than 100%. Because you went over 100%. So divided by 4.45, that's going to be 12,000. Okay. Then if we look at example 6, this is the first time we're looking for the percentages. So sometimes these are going to look funny because we have to remember to convert it to a percent at the end. So if you don't remember to convert it to a percent at the end, you will get these wrong. So 4,250.2 is what percent? So I sometimes use P for percent of 26.9 dividing by 26.9. And the reason people will get this one wrong is they think this is already a percentage, but we are in a percent equation form. And so therefore we have to remember to move our decimal 2 places to the right to turn it back into so this is decimal form of our percent. So if we move it 2 places to the right, it's 15800%, which if you think about it, 26.9 is the whole, and this is the part. This is way over 100%, way. So it's actually 15,800% bigger than 26.9. Mitzi received some gourmet brownies as a gift. The wrapper said each brownie was 480 calories and had 240 calories of fat. What percent of the total calories in each brownie comes from fat? So the fat is what percent of the total calories? So 240 is what percent of 480? Divide both sides by 480. And this time, this one might make a little more sense. This is 0.5 when you divide that, but as a percentage, because remember, this is in decimal form. When we use a percent equation, move that 2 places to the right, and that's 50%. And that makes sense if you think about it. 240 is exactly half of 480, so it is 50% of it. And then we just have a few more of these just to get some extra practice. So Malik was gifted a box of chocolates. The box said each chocolate was 92 calories and had 46 calories of fat. What percent of total calories in each chocolate comes from fat? So you can use proportions or equation method here. So if I wanted to do proportions, I could say, okay, 46 is the part that's from fat, 92 is the total calories. What percent is that out of 100? Now, when you do a proportion, you get the percentage exactly, and that's because the 100 is involved in the calculation. So that timesing by 100 in the cross multiplication already converted this to a percentage for us. So that is 50%. Okay. Ben gets paid $4,850 per month. He pays $1,553 a month for rent. What percent of his monthly pay goes to rent? So if I use the equation method here, 1,553 is what percent of 4,850? This time, I'm not timesing by 100 anywhere when I use the percent equation. So I have to remember that I get a decimal form answer, and I have to manually do the timesing it by 100 or moving my decimal 2 places to the right. Because when you solve this, you get 0.320 and this is in decimal form because I used equation method, not proportion. So that would be 32% if we round to the nearest whole. Okay. Deshaun and his date enjoyed a nice dinner at a restaurant. His bill was $72.40. He wants to leave a 25% tip, 25% of the total bill. So the total bill was $72.40. He wants to leave a tip. That will be 25% of that total bill. So 72.4 times 25 is 1810 divided by 100. We get 1810 equals 100 N. he needs to leave a tip of $18.10. All right, and that is the end of 2A3. So we're going to pick up in class with 2A4. I just felt that that was a lot of information to do in 2 videos. So we'll start there.